Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. It's not an April Fool's joke. I'm Ron McKenzie, filling in for Steve Casillo, broadcasting live from the Cellmark Studios along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel is in Studio West. This is the April 1st, 2026, the 314th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. Let's check the stories we're covering this week. Mansfield mayor named among nation's government champions.
Mansfield ISD sets community chats with new superintendent.
New nature trails coming to Julian Field Park.
Bluebonnets are blooming, but with a few warnings.
Mansfield Reads program builds momentum ahead of author's visit.
Kids Business Fair returns to Mansfield to support student learning.
And in sports, we'll take a look at local high school sports.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his in-studio talk with Mentors Care Executive Director Dena Petty. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo with a question just for you. What if date night lasted an entire week? Imagine a glass of wine as castle lights reflect on the river, quiet walks through centuries-old towns, and dinners where no one is watching the clock. That is what autumn along the Rhine River can feel like. Paradigm Travel Agency is hosting a Rhine River cruise, November 12th through the 19th, aboard the elegant Ama Lucia, sailing from Amsterdam to Basel. You unpack once, you wake up somewhere new every morning, and every evening feels like another perfect night out. If romantic travel without stress sounds appealing, this is worth exploring. For more information, contact Claudine at ParadigmTravelAgency.com. Don't forget, use promo code MP111226.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Bernadette McCraney, Director of Communications and Outreach for the City of Mansfield, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Mansfield Mayor Michael Evans has been named a government champion, a national recognition tied to the upcoming America 250 celebration. The honor, presented by Local Gov 250 and the National Academy of Public Administration, highlights individuals across all levels of government who demonstrate exceptional public service, innovation, and commitment to their communities. According to organizers, the recognition celebrates those who embody democracy at the doorstep through their work in cities, counties, states, and federal agencies. Evans is among a select group of leaders nationwide to receive the designation and will be recognized at a formal event on May 12th in Philadelphia. The America 250 initiative marks the 250th anniversary of the United States in 2026, with events and recognitions planned across the country.
Mansfield ISD's new superintendent, Dr. Tiffany Spencer, is continuing her introduction to the district with a series of community conversation events. The district says the gatherings will give parents, residents, and other community members a chance to meet Dr. Spencer, ask questions, and share feedback about the future of Mansfield ISD. 3 events are scheduled: Thursday, April 2nd at Summit High School, Wednesday, April 15th at Mansfield High School, and Thursday, May 14th at Brenda Norwood Elementary. All of the meetings begin at 6 p.m. District officials say the conversations are designed to help residents stay involved as Dr. Spencer begins her leadership of the school district. Mansfield ISD is encouraging community members to attend one of the 3 sessions and take part in the discussion.
Construction is moving into Phase 2 at Julian Field Park on East Broad Street, where crews are now building a network of soft surface nature trails through the wooded area at the rear of the park. The project adds a new way for residents to experience one of Mansfield's oldest parks, lands that have been preserved since it was first purchased in 1960 as a community gathering space near the city's first planned neighborhood. The park also once featured a community pool, which closed in the 1970s. Trail work has been underway for several weeks and is expected to wrap up by early summer. City officials say a dedication ceremony for the new memorial space and park upgrades is planned for Memorial Day weekend, with more details to be announced.
It's Bluebonnet season in Mansfield, with the iconic Texas wildflowers beginning to pop up across parks and around the city. Officials say it may still be another week or 2 before fields reach full bloom. With that comes the annual reminder to admire them carefully. Bluebonnets may grow back each year, but crushed stems mean fewer flowers returning next season. Visitors and photo buffs are encouraged to avoid stepping or sitting on the plants to help preserve them for the future. And one more Texas-sized caution. Bluebonnet patches can also attract snakes, ants, bees, and other wildlife. So, if you're heading out for photos, enjoy the view, but watch where you step.
Mansfield Reads, One City, One Book program is drawing readers together across the community, centered on this year's selection, When the Stars Go Dark by Paula McLean. The initiative encourages residents of all ages to read the same book at the same time, sparking conversation and strengthening community connections through a shared literary experience. Organizers say the program is designed not only to promote literacy, but also to highlight the resources available through the Mansfield Public Library. Those who haven't yet joined can still participate by picking up a copy of the book at the library and joining ongoing discussions and activities inspired by the novel. The season will culminate with a special appearance by McLean, a New York Times bestselling author, at 7 p.m. on Friday, April 10th at the Mansfield Public Library, giving readers the opportunity to hear directly from the author and engage in a community-wide celebration of reading. The One City, One Book concept began in Seattle in 1998 and has since expanded to communities nationwide, bringing readers together through stories that resonate far beyond the page.
The 3rd annual Kids Business Fair is set to return Saturday, April 11th at the new Geyer Commons, offering young entrepreneurs a chance to showcase their ideas while supporting a local school. The event, hosted by Wild Oak Academy, serves as a fundraiser to support the school's mission of nurturing students through small class sizes, individualized attention, and play-based learning. Organizers say all booth fees will go directly towards supporting school programs. The fair runs from 10 to 2. Participation is open to children ages 5 to 17, with a limited number of adult vendors also accepted. Organizers encourage young vendors to take the lead in setting up and running their booths, with adults providing supervision only. Those interested in participating or sponsoring the event can contact organizers by email or register online. Google Mansfield Kids Business Fair for more information.
An update on what's going on in high school sports. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
In sports, it's been a busy stretch across Mansfield ISD, with baseball, softball, and soccer all giving fans plenty to follow. In baseball, Legacy is leading the local charge with a 19-3-1 overall record, with the first-place 5-1 record in district play, and a state ranking of 16th. Lake Ridge is also in the mix at 9-4-2 overall and sitting second in district. Mansfield is 6-8, Summit 12-9, and Timberview 4-11-1 with 3 weeks left in the regular season. On the softball side, Legacy again sits on top locally, going 15-10 overall and 6-1 in district. Lake Ridge is right behind at 10, 11, and 1 overall and 3 and 1 in district, while Timberview is still in the hunt at 12 and 7 overall and 4 and 3 in district. Mansfield and Summit have struggled this year with 4 games left before the postseason picture is set. In boys soccer, the season is over for all 5 MISD teams. 4 made the playoffs, and Mansfield advanced the farthest, beating Northwestern by district before falling to Coronado in the area round. Lake Ridge finished first in district at 16-5-1, while Mansfield and Summit both turned in strong seasons of their own. And in girls soccer, it was a battle of 2 top 10 teams as Lake Ridge, ranked 7th in Texas, was eliminated by 3rd-ranked Capel 5-1 Friday night in the regional semifinals. The Lady Eagles win an amazing 21-1-2 this season. Speaking of soccer, the road to Mansfield is complete as Denmark and Czechia took to the soccer pitch Tuesday afternoon. And the winner was, well, that was decided after our publishing deadline, so you'll have to visit our About Mansfield News Talk Facebook page to see which team is headed to the FIFA World Cup tournament and, more importantly, will call Mansfield Stadium their home base. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Saturday, April 4th, is National Hug and Newsman Day. A playful prompt to praise the press? Well, now let's be clear. Not every journalist is jumping for joy over surprise squeezes. These are folks filing facts, chasing city council curveballs, and meeting midnight deadlines, not lining up for unsolicited snuggles. So keep it classy, Mansfield. Consider a courteous compliment, a firm handshake, or a heartfelt, hey, thanks for keeping us informed, because behind every byline is a deadline, and usually a triple shot of espresso. Still, if you have a favorite reporter, anchor, or editor who's earned your admiration, Saturday's your chance to show some support, respectfully, responsively, and maybe, just maybe, with a well-timed hug. Oh yeah, in case you run into him around town, Steve's a hugger. I'd like to take a moment to thank About Mansfield for giving me this opportunity to fill in as guest host. Part of my duties in the community is doing the marketing and public relations for Hawaiian Falls Water Park. And believe it or not, water park season is just around the corner as our park opens on Saturday, May 2nd. Right now, the best deal, as always, is a season pass, which pays for itself in just 2 visits. We have a number of great things that are new and exciting at the park this year, including special events, new amenities, and a whole lot of different food and beverage options. So we hope to see you around the park this year, and have a great spring.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
It's Tim Roberts, tourism manager here with the City of Mansfield, and coming up next, we have the April Cultural Arts Calendar.
I'm Angel Biasatti. It's the perfect time to spring clean your health. And today, we're sharing practical tips for sleep, exercise, diet, and mental wellness with Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, it's light, it's floral, it's just sweet enough and finished with bubbles because spring deserves a little sparkle.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news is brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Tammy Berry, who was the first person to correctly answer last week's Mansfield trivia question. In what year was Mansfield ISD established? Tammy knew it was 1909 and has won a $25 restaurant gift card. Looking for the weekly, highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question? You can find it at its new home on the About Mansfield Facebook page. So, log on to Facebook right now and hit the About Mansfield News Talk page. As always, the first person to email the correct answer will win a $25 restaurant gift card courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance. Good luck.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Corey Berlin, 2022 Boston Marathon finisher, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. It is the first episode of the month, and that means we bring in City Tourism Manager Tim Roberts with the Cultural Arts Calendar for April. Tim?
All right, so we have a packed April coming up here in the city of Mansfield, starting off with April 9th, 7:30 p.m. at the Far Best Theater. It's open mic night, but it's not just open mic night this month. It is Mansfield Sings, a full-fledged music and poetry competition. Get your application in. There will be prizes as the best of the best are putting on a show on that stage. The very next night, we launch another competition, the 48-hour Spark Short Film Race. If you ever wanted to make a movie in 48 hours with your friends, get in there. Presented by Little Sparks Films. You can find the sign-up information on the website, MansfieldTexasArts.org. April 11th at 7 p.m., Will Baffle presents his Show of Wonders at the Far Best Theater, the monthly magic show. You can't miss that one. Fun for all ages. And then the next weekend, the musical classic, Once Upon a Mattress. Absolutely hilarious, side-splitting. I've seen it probably 5-6 times. I love it each time. Presented by the Fleetwood Project at the Far Best Theater. That runs April 17th through the 26th. While we're talking about the Far Best Theater, April 19th, those movies that got made in that 48-hour festival will be shown at 2 p.m. April 19th for the 48-hour Spark Short Film Screening Festival. Even if you didn't get to make a movie, you got to come out and see what these minds came up with on no sleep and nothing but caffeine. It's always a blast. Reminder, over at the Mansfield Art House, we'll be running the Roots and Roots Gallery until April 18th. And of course, there are weekly art classes there all the time at MansfieldArtHouse.com. And hey, before I get out of here, before I talk to you again, we'll probably have already done this. So on May 2nd, it is Music Alley, our massive free music and arts festival in historic downtown Mansfield, 4 to 10 p.m. We've got 2 huge stages this year. First, the Baylor Scott & White Orthopedic Spine Surgeons of Arlington Cinco de Mayo stage, headlined by Jay Perez. And then the HEB Independence main stage, headlined by Jerry Don Branch. We'll have over 15 acts, dancing, hands-on arts and crafts, one of our favorite days of the year. So again, May 2nd, the first Saturday of May, 4 to 10 p.m. in historic downtown Mansfield. Come on out for our annual Music Alley celebration. That about wraps it up. Can't wait to see y'all all next month. Reporting for About Mansfield, I'm Tourism Manager Tim Roberts.
Angel Biasatti is here to talk about how to give your health a good spring cleaning. In Methodist Mansfield, news to know. Angel?
It's the perfect time to spring clean your health. Today, we're sharing practical tips for sleep, exercise, diet, and mental wellness so you can recharge, refresh, and really thrive. Let's start with sleep. A consistent bedtime routine, limit your screen time before bed, and keep your room cool and dark. It can dramatically improve how rested you feel. Sleep is the foundation for energy, immunity, and focus. Next, exercise. Even short bursts of movements, like a 15-minute walk or a quick body weight routine, can boost your mood and energy. The key is consistency. So find something you enjoy and stick with it. Diet is another area for a spring reset. Focus on whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Lighten up heavier winter meals and try adding seasonal produce to your plate to nourish your body and give it a fresh start. Finally, mental wellness. Take time for mindfulness, journaling, or just stepping outside to breathe in the fresh air. Reducing stress and focusing on mental health is just as important as sleep, movement, and nutrition. Think of it like tending a garden. If you nurture all areas of your health, you'll sprout energy, focus, and overall well-being this season. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink where garden party excellence meets Southern roots in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
There's a very specific moment every spring when people suddenly decide they're outdoor people. They buy plants, they open windows, they say things like, let's go outside, as if they weren't hibernating like a grizzly bear 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, I'm just here wondering if it's socially acceptable to drink bourbon before noon. And deciding that it absolutely is, as long as you add bubbles. Welcome to the Cocktail of the Week, brought to you, as always, by Bourbon Gospel. I'm your host, Brian Certain, and this month, we're stepping into something a little more refined, but don't worry, we're still bringing bourbon with us. April's theme is In Bloom in Bourbon. It's where garden party elegance meets Southern roots. Think fresh herbs, floral notes, and cocktails that feel like they belong on a front porch with a little breeze and no agenda. And this week, we kick off a drink that says, yes, I have my life together, even if that's only true for the next 20 minutes. Meet the Honeysuckle Bourbon Fizz. It's light, it's floral, it's just sweet enough and finished with bubbles because spring deserves a little sparkle. This is a bourbon in a linen shirt. Still strong, still confident, just slightly more approachable. So the ingredients, 2 ounces of a fine bourbon because, life's too short to drink cheap bourbon. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. 1/2 ounce of Texas wildflower honey syrup, which is a 1-to-1 honey and warm water mixture. 1/4 ounce of elderflower liqueur. And 2 ounces of club soda. Garnish, lime wheel or lemon wheel, fresh mint or edible flowers, glassware, a highball or a Collins glass, and always lots and lots of fresh ice cubes. How do we put this drink together? We take the bourbon, the lemon juice, the honey syrup, and the elderflower liqueur to a shaker. Shake with ice until well chilled, 15-20 seconds or until the tin becomes cold enough that it hurts. Strain into a tall glass over fresh ice and then top with club soda, and then garnish like you've been doing this your whole life. The fizz actually dates back to the late 1800s. Essentially, it's a sour that decided it needed a personality. Back then, bartenders realized that if you added bubbles to a drink, people suddenly felt like they were celebrating something, even if they weren't. Honeysuckle and elderflower bring that unmistakable spring aroma, the kind that hits you and makes you think, maybe I should start a garden, before quickly remembering you can barely keep a houseplant alive. Adding the Texas wildflower honey, well, that's your local tie-in. It's rich, it's floral, it's a whole lot more interesting than whatever's in that plastic beer. As always this year, I'm doing a mocktail version. The mocktail is the Porch Light Fizz. We're going to take 1 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of our honey syrup, 1/4 of an ounce of an elderflower cordial, and then 3 ounces of sparkling water. Build it over ice, stirring gently, and garnish the exact same way. It's bright, it's refreshing, and proof, pun intended, that you don't need alcohol to have a well-built drink, just better decisions than you made last weekend. April has a way of slowing things down, whether you like it or not. This is a month where you realize not everything needs to be rushed, to be optimized, or turned into a productivity hack. Sometimes the move is simple. Sit down, take a sip, let things bloom without forcing them. As always, I'm open to hear your take and input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain famously said, too much of anything is bad. But too much whiskey, well, that's barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of Steve's in-studio interview with Mentors Care Executive Director Dena Petty.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hey, you guys, I'm Sean Surface with Second Chance Mentors, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. In the studio today, we present part 2 of our interview with Executive Director of Mentors Care, Dena Petty. Enjoy. So you've taken all this information from your checkered past to starting at Midlothian High School with the principal to this now massive nonprofit. You've taken all that information and put it into Collateral Hope, which is a book.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the book.
I've been told my whole life, you've got to write your book. And then I turned 60 2 years ago. And it was time. And so now I'm falling into more of the founder role for Mentors Care, which is exciting because there are people that have come alongside that are working with us on the board, on staff, way smarter, way more prepared and educated than I am, that are taking it to the next level. So I now can go speak and I can go inspire. And so I'm using this book as a platform because I'm telling the story of my life and I'm very vulnerable. It's very hard to write. There's a lot of stories in there, some funny, some of them very tragic, but it's hope. No matter all the things, the collateral stuff that could have been damage turned into collateral hope, and that I've been healed from all of it. God is good, and now we're bringing hope to so many kids.
Give me an example of what the reader can expect to get out of your book.
It's funny. I was told by some friends that helped me, when they were reading it and everything, when I first started the whole thing, they said, it's interesting. The first part of the book, you're telling the stories and it's like you're talking like a child, but it's my childhood memories.
Yeah.
And then it moved into more maybe sophisticated as you get older. But it's basically just stories, snippets. I want to paint the picture of how hard it was. There was no love, no support, no protector. There's a story of rape in there. There's a story of possibly trafficked in there. There's a story in there of me being hungry and the fear of being hungry, homelessness, and so when I work with these kids and you have all of the stories of the kids, it's almost like I can feel each and every one of them. I've probably experienced it a little bit, which makes me so passionate.
Yeah.
That if you have a kid that's acting out or not engaging or cynical or depressed or all those things, it's usually a reason why. And so I am so passionate about using Collateral Hope to inspire people, to want to notice people and really notice them. Because when I was homeless, I probably looked rough, probably looked a little disheveled. I was in my car and I was working, but life was hard. And I remember people looking at me, and it wasn't with soft eyes with compassion. It was completely opposite. It was judgment. What did you do to deserve what you've got right here? I didn't do anything. I just had crappy parents.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anybody at all. And so when you're beat up and spit out, you're doing the best you can.
Judgment is, it can be cruel.
It's cruel. And it's funny because I even had a little girl tell me one time, she came to my office. It was really sweet. It was her last day of school. She was graduating that night. It's when school ended the last day, and they graduated that night back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I just wanted to come say thank you and hug me, which is really unusual for a lot of these kids. They're not used to that, And she said, I just wanted to say thank you. And I said, you're welcome. And she said, I just have a question. Why do you do this? I mean, really blown away, And I said, man, I just remember learning that somebody loved me when I didn't even know who they were. And I just learned that I needed to do that for others. And I said, I just hope that you take this advice. I hope you listen. And she said, well, we really don't listen because you're just kind of that rich lady, everybody. And I went, well, I said, that's interesting because my past was, I have known hunger. I have known homelessness. I have known abuse of every kind. I have known neglect. I have known all these things. And her eyes, just looks at me like, what? Because they look at me now and you're just this rich lady. I'm not a rich lady, but they just, these are kids who come from very impoverished backgrounds.
Right.
And so they're blown away that I have that story. And anyway, she turned her life completely around and is doing amazing now. But she was blown away that somebody would take the time to get to know her and love her. And I mean, gosh, she had a boyfriend that her mom had died. Her dad was gone. I don't really know where he was, but she was a senior in high school, full-time student, full-time working, and with a rough crowd. And she had a boyfriend that she had broken up with, and he broke into her apartment and took an axe to the only thing her mom left her, which was a chest of drawers.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, picking her up off the floor. So anyway, that day when she said thank you, and I mean, just the biggest hug and the biggest tears I've ever seen come out of somebody's eyes, just so appreciative, life turned around forever.
Let's talk about the mentors. Someone wants to be a mentor. What do you look for? How do they qualify to be a mentor?
Well, they need to be over the age of 20, 21.
Okay.
We need a little separation between the kids to 99 or 199 years old. I mean, honestly, some of our older people are some of the greatest. A lot of these kids love their older mentors, but we would never put a man with a girl, and we try to put women with girls, but sometimes we'll put an older woman with a boy, especially if we know there's no mother in their home. And it's kind of a nurturing thing. It's kind of cool. So they'll fill out an application. If they go to www.mentors.care, on there's a tab for application. And then it'll have all the list of the schools, one closest to you that you're interested in serving, and you fill that out. There's a background check that matches the school. There's references we're going to ask for. And then there's a training. There's about an hour and a half, 2-hour training. You'll get a mentor guide, a free book that we have donated, looking for donors for that. Yeah, we'll train you and then you start. So you tell us the days that you're available. The day usually doesn't matter. The time of day does, because we only take them out of a non-core class.
Yeah.
So you tell us your mornings are best, your afternoons are best, or lunch, and then we try to work that out with you.
Are you finding that there is a shortage of students or a shortage of mentors?
It just depends on the school district. Yeah. Every one of them is unique. But Mentors Care is like a franchise. Mm-hmm. We've been able to duplicate that over and over again. The magic works. I mean, it is incredible what's happening with this program. So we duplicate that, but the personality is a little different at each community. You might have a community that you have so many mentors, and we're not getting enough referrals from the school for students. So we always try to take the most critical students first. It's like triage.
Right.
And then we'll start matching them up, mentor and student, based upon male, female, likes, similarities, those kind of things.
What if a mentor goes into a very, very difficult situation? The child has already been convinced they're going to fail in life. Does an hour and a half of training and a mentor's guide prepare them for that?
Well, we have an answer for that.
Okay.
That we have a coordinator at each campus. They're not only there for the students, they're there for the mentors because it does take a lot. And honestly, that's some of the things you find out. We're human, and you have a child that's acting like they don't like you. That can sometimes mess with your little pride. You've got a little bit of a ego need yourself.
That's right. I haven't broken the wall. How come I've seen this guy 4 times now. I still haven't got through the wall.
So we're doing that together with the coordinator.
Gotcha.
You're not alone. And the other part of that, you're not a counselor, you're not a doctor, you're not a first responder. Any information that comes out of that conversation between the mentor and the student, you don't share with anybody else on the planet but that coordinator. If there's an outcry, we will help you through that. Like if there's abuse, neglect, they're going to hurt somebody or vice versa. We will have to report that. You're a first reporter.
Right.
But we will walk with you through that. And then there's another part to that. You can have secondhand trauma, which is very real, because if you have just fallen in love with this kiddo and you have this great relationship, and then you're meeting with this girl, and then she tells you she was raped the night before, you feel it like it's your own child. So we will help you work through that. We're going to be with you on that. And you're not going to have to figure out all the community assistance needed for that child. That's our job. So what we also do, besides going into a community, we go recruit all the mentors. We're going to go find the 50 to 60. It might take a little time, especially in new communities that do not know who we are. But by the second, third year, we'll have a full caseload. But we also go meet all the community assistants. Mentoring is all we do. We're going to be excellent at that. But if we find out they're hungry, they're hungry, or they're homeless, or need counseling, all those kind of things, we we network, and then we go refer. We refer.
Going back to the importance of privacy, that the mentors do not go out and talk to other mentors about, my guy's Joe, and let me tell you about Joe. There's not a lot of gossiping going on between mentors about the other students.
That's what we hope and pray they're not.
I would hope so.
They've been trained not to. But now you can go to your coordinator and say, I need help. Now, for instance, you might share a story to inspire somebody, just don't ever use a name. They never need to be able to connect you with that student. We're going to honor that student. That's their story. It's not ours to tell.
Looking back at the younger version of you, so when you started as a mentor—
That was a long time ago.
When you started as a mentor in 2009, 10, 11, looking back at the younger Dena, what advice would you be giving her?
Well, if you're going into it to save a life and make a difference in the life of another person, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, because then it becomes about you. It's about that child, and it's about you are called to do this. They have free will. They may or may not listen to you, and you cannot take it personal. If they act like they don't like you, it's not you. They don't even know you. It's just, this is how they deal with life, which is a failed way to look at life. And that's what we try to help them with, life things. As part of the talking points, we're going to talk about respect. We're going to talk about, like I said, showing up, giving 120% when no one's looking. We're going to, one of the talking points that I love is, why are you so angry? Let's talk about why you're so angry, because a lot of them are angry. Let's talk about that. Why? Because it's misplaced anger. And so let's talk about that. Should you be acting out on that anger and hurting others? But maybe that's the way they've been taught. So we got to talk about that. We're not counselors, but we're a friend. We can talk about those things.
Sure.
I guess that would be the biggest one, is the reason why you're doing it is not about you.
It's not about the mentor. It's about the kid. Okay. What's the future of Mentors Care?
So excited about this. We're continuing to grow. Our vision and dream is to continue growing across the state of Texas and then nationwide, where we're supposed to go. I was told by several people, but 2 people I can think of that were just very prominent. One of them was Dan Coram, and he's a profiler. He used to be profiler for schools with school shootings. He's written books like Random Actor and Missing Protector, and we became friends. Now he's a profiler for military bases.
Okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, he's just an incredible person. He and his wife, I love them very much. And he said, I speak all over the world now. He said, I still talk about mentors care. Y'all are it. Y'all are the only ones. He said, there's some good things out there, but there aren't mentoring programs that are figuring out how to get that many mentors, how to keep that many mentors and continue growing. Most of them struggle. I think we've just found a lot of pieces that are working. It's just really exciting. You know, we have all the numbers that showing it's working. If we have a student for 2 or more years, we're graduating 100%.
Wow.
And we get all the most at-risk students first.
Mm-hmm. If a mentor, or actually, let's go back. If a student, let's say he starts off in the freshman year, starts in your program and is assigned a mentor, is that mentor assigned to that student for all 4 years?
It's all voluntary.
So
the whole thing. So yes, that's ultimately the goal, to see them graduate. And we try to grab them in 9th grade when they're already on trajectory of really struggling.
Yeah.
You can already see it. They have a lot of at-risk indicators. And so when we do an intake interview with a student, we determine how many of those they have, determining triage, which ones are more critical. So yes, we want them to be with them all 4 years, but it's voluntary. So we tell the mentor, look, if they say yes, you say yes, please stay all year. If you don't think you can, please don't do this. It'll do more damage.
Because I would imagine if a student has attached to a mentor and then the mentor says, oh, guess what? I'm moving, I'm retiring, I lost my job, I am now going to hand you off to someone else.
Well, life happens.
Yeah.
And so as long as we're communicating and we let the student know they have moved and they cannot come back, we would love to get you another mentor. But when the mentor comes back, we'll ask them, would you like to come back this year? But please finish out that year. And we work very, very hard. And I think we're over 80% now of meetings happening. We've worked very hard to say, if you feel like you're going to miss a lot, please don't do this. Because nothing worse than that child looking around the door jamb going, are they here?
Right.
Oh, yeah, where are they? Why are they not here? You know?
That's right. The child showed up and the mentor didn't show up.
That happens a lot, actually.
Can a mentor or someone who is interested in mentoring mentor more than one person at a time?
Not at the same time.
Okay.
We believe in the one-to-one, but we have a lot of mentors that love it so much, they'll have 2, 3, or 4 students, and they'll come back at different times, different days.
That's what I meant, is that Monday I get Joe, and then Tuesday I get Steve. And
there's some people that are really great at it, and they just love it.
When a student graduates, then the mentor can go back into the system and pick up another student.
But a lot of our mentors and the students that have graduated are now friends. They'll hang out and have coffee. It's on them now.
Right.
They're adults.
Now that you've graduated, we can go to Flying Squirrel and have a cup of coffee.
Yes. And they do. They do. Well, I hear it every week. I got to see my student. But yes. But yes, you can go pick up another student and our coordinators are great. They're always doing interviews with the students that are referred by the school to find out if they're a good candidate for the program. We'll have a list, and then, we try to go recruit. We have staff that's their job, community engagement. Mm-hmm. They are recruiting mentors all the time, finding community assistance available for the kids and their families. But it's a constant, flow, bringing in more kids, more mentors.
If I wanted to become a mentor, or if somebody out there listening wanted to become a mentor, how can they contact Mentors Care?
They can get on our website, and there's links on there. Contact us. Somebody will contact you, call you back. There's, So that's easy. That's an easy one. Just mentors.care.
The website again, mentors.care. So it's not a .org or a .com or a whatever. It's a .care. So mentors.care is the website. The book is called Collateral Hope. And our guest is Dena Petty, founder and executive director of Mentors Care. In closing, is there anything that you want to add? Is there anything that you thought that I was going to ask you that I didn't ask you? And what would the answer to that question be?
Well, as the new founder role that I have found myself in, if anybody is interested in knowing more, bringing me to a group to speak about Mentors Care, if they want to read my book, you can go to Amazon, Dena Petty, Collateral Hope. It's on there. If you have a school district that you think really needs this program, I believe they all do. I can't think of one.
Mansfield Independent School District?
We would love to be here. This is actually on our radar because we're kind of moving west of Midlothian. So we're in every school in Ellis County. We're in one school in Oak Cliff. We're in Hill County. We're in Johnson County, Tarrant County. It's just a perfect,
You're coming. You're coming.
Yeah, we would love to be here. And I would love to be able to sit down with the superintendent or principal. The principal is kind of the CEO of the school. They need to really believe that they need this, which they're all educators. They're all like, we need this. It always comes down to money though. So, and then seed money. If somebody is interested in it coming to their community and they have that capability, that capacity to help a school district get us here, we have that set up at many of the school districts. And what that does, it gives them a couple years, one, for them to get the line item in their budget to be able to afford us. It's not that much, but they got to get it in their budget. And it's a great way for somebody to give back to a program that really is working.
Well, I hope somebody out there listening, someone is within 6 degrees of the school district.
Yeah.
Out there. And again, the website is mentors.care. Look them up. Mentors Care is the name of the organization. Dena Petty, congratulations on a successful nonprofit. And I appreciate your time. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thank you for being interested. I really appreciate it.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, who is Willie Brown and why does he have an elementary school named after him? Steve will talk in studio with Tia Middlebrook, the granddaughter of Willie Brown. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and easy. Head on over to aboutmansfield.com, enter your email address on the homepage. We will never send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Ron McKenzie, and this is About Mansfield.